Did you hear that? It was cheaper for me to order this bag from Farfetch than it was directly from Tory Burch. Hello, I'm Lindsay from Have Clothes Will Travel. I share style and shopping content as well as travel guides, and for today's video I'm going to be talking about Farfetch and whether or not the site is legit. So Farfetch is an online luxury fashion marketplace. They connect customers worldwide with more than 1,400 of the world's top brands, designers, boutiques, and department stores. Farfetch features items from designers such as Prada, Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci, you name it. Farfetch operates a little differently than these other third-party sites in that they don't actually own the merchandise that they're selling. Farfetch works directly with the brands and the designers to sell their items on Farfetch, and then usually these brands and designers ship the items themselves directly from their stores and boutiques. If you're wondering whether or not Farfetch is legit, what their shipping times are, return policy, and whether or not their customer service is any good, this video is here to help. So I had ordered from Farfetch because they had the color and size I was interested in for a bag, a YSL tote bag. They also had a Tory Burch bag that I was interested in, but it was sold out on Tory Burch's website in the US. As I mentioned in all of my videos like this, I shop for all of my luxury items online because I live in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and we don't have designer boutiques or luxury department stores anywhere near where I live. But now, why would I order from Farfetch when I could just buy these things directly from the designers themselves? And that's a good question, and I get asked it frequently. The answer to that is usually by the time I decide to order whatever luxury or designer item it is that I'm interested in, it's already been sold out in the color and the size that I want for a very long time on the designer's website. These third-party sites tend to have access to more stock than the designer's websites do themselves. So in this case, the Tory Burch tote bag that I wanted was sold out on the US Tory Burch website. However, it was still in stock on Tory Burch's UK website. Now, I could have just ordered this tote bag directly from the UK one, but it was actually cheaper for me to order it from Farfetch by about $240. What? Did you hear that? It was cheaper for me to order this bag from Farfetch than it was directly from Tory Burch. I am honestly not sure how it works that this bag is cheaper on Farfetch than ordering directly from Tory Burch, because the designers themselves set the prices that you see on Farfetch. That's not Farfetch setting those prices. Everything's negotiated ahead of time with the designer or the brand. Farfetch makes money by then charging these brands and designers a commission for selling on their website. So if anything, I would have thought that Farfetch would be more expensive to order from than cheaper. However, in this case, it was cheaper for me to order from Farfetch. However, that's not always the case. The tote bag that I wanted from YSL is actually about $100 more expensive to order from Farfetch than it is to order from YSL.com. But YSL.com did not have the tote bag in this kind of grayish color that I wanted. They only had, like, I think it was a tan one and then this black and white one. So because YSL.com didn't have the color I was interested in, I was willing to pay $100 more to get the color I wanted and get it from Farfetch. However, it's really weird to me though that Farfetch had this item in stock on their website. YSL.com did not. However, this bag from Farfetch shipped from the same place that YSL orders come from, the same warehouse. It's the exact same address. It's weird to me that Farfetch had it in stock and YSL.com did not. So, moral of that story is Farfetch can sometimes be cheaper to order from than the designer, but not always. How long does Farfetch shipping take? And where does Farfetch ship from? This is kind of a complicated question to answer. And this is because Farfetch shipping time and location are going to vary based on the item that you order. Sometimes Farfetch does ship the items themselves, at least in my experience though. The designers and the boutiques are shipping the items themselves. So these shipping times and return policies are gonna vary item to item. However, Farfetch does give you an estimated delivery time for each item. You'll see this right under the add to bag portion of the website when you're on an item. However, at least in my experience, these shipping estimates are not always accurate. For example, the Tory Burch bag that I ordered took an extra 5 days from the estimated delivery time that Farfetch had on their website. My YSL bag did arrive within that estimated time, and I think this is probably because the YSL bag was a domestic order for me, whereas the Tory Burch bag was international, and international shipping can sometimes get a little tricky. My shipping was also free because I spent over $200 with Farfetch. Both of these items shipped with FedEx, and I had to be present to sign for both of these packages. So make sure that somebody is home to sign for your packages. So the $1,000,000 question, are Farfetch items authentic? Given that the items are usually shipping from the designers themselves, you'd think it's safe to say that the items are indeed authentic. However, as I do with all of these videos, I also ordered a YSL tote bag directly from YSL.com that is similar to the one that I ordered from Farfetch. I did this a little bit for the purpose of this video, but also because I wasn't sure if I wanted my tote bag to have leather handles or cloth handles. These bags are going to be a little different in that one of them has leather handles and the other one has fabric handles, but we can still compare them. As you can see, the colors are of course different. However, things like the stitching, the logo, and the interior and the buttons can still be compared. And personally, I can't see anything here that would suggest the bag that came from Farfetch is not authentic. Both items also came with an authentic YSL box and dust cover and had their authenticity paperwork inside the bag. They also shipped from the exact same address and were both returned to the exact same address. My experience with Farfetch's return policy. So I ordered all of these bags from Farfetch and YSL.com because I was on the hunt for a new tote bag for a trip that I'm going on next week. However, I only needed one bag for this trip, and I ended up liking the Tory Burch bag the best of all. This bag is huge, so I can't really fit it onto the camera, but I ended up keeping this one and will be using it on my trip next week. I love this bag, and I did end up liking the leather handles the best, especially for the price. I ended up returning both of the YSL bags though. Again, one was bought directly from YSL.com and one was bought from Farfetch, and they both went back to the exact same address with FedEx. Here is where things are a little different though. YSL's return policy states that they will accept items within 30 days of receipt of the products, whereas Farfetch's return policy states that they will only accept items within 14 days of receipt of the products. I also returned both of these items at the exact same time and can see that they arrived at the warehouse at the exact same time and they processed in the exact same amount of time. It also took the exact same amount of time for YSL and also Farfetch to issue me a refund, which was only like 6 hours from the time that the bags arrived at the warehouse. However, YSL's refund appeared in my bank account within a couple of days, and it's been over a week now and I still don't see the Farfetch refund in my bank account yet. However, Farfetch does say on their website that this can take up to 14 days to appear in your bank account. And unfortunately, I mean, this was my experience, but every item that you get from Farfetch is going to have a little bit different of a return policy, and they're going to have different return paperwork, and it'll also be different too for you if this is a domestic order or a international order. So I did get a chance to interact with Farfetch's customer service. This is because when I went to request a return of the tote bag, I was getting an error message on Farfetch's website saying that I couldn't return this tote bag, which was making me a little nervous. So I sent them an email about it. Fortunately, that error message ended up clearing up on its own within a couple of minutes, and I had no issues then requesting a return. However, the Farfetch customer service did reach back out to me, and they were super kind and helpful. I will say though that the emails back and forth that I had with them took between 6 to 12 hours to get a response from them. So if you're looking for a little quicker response, you would probably be better calling Farfetch than emailing them. So will I be ordering from Farfetch again? If I find myself in another situation where Farfetch is the cheaper option, or they are the only site that has a color or size that I want in an item, I will absolutely be ordering from Farfetch again. I'm not worried whether or not they're selling authentic designer items, and their customer service does seem pretty good, at least in my experience. That said, I probably won't be going out of my way to shop on Farfetch again, and this is because they only have a 14-day return window, which is cutting it pretty close for me because I'm usually used to these sites having a 30-day return window. I almost missed this return window with Farfetch. I literally returned that tote bag on the last possible day I could be eligible for a refund. So due to that return policy, I would be more inclined to shop on other third-party sites like MyTheresa or Essence. But that's not to say that there's anything wrong with Farfetch. I did have an overall good shopping experience with them. Their return policy just makes me a little bit nervous. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more shopping content like this.